Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is terrorists among us in the United States. Now, I have not talked about our sponsors much here lately. If you've noticed, I've just breezed through the program, and then if there's room, we tack a couple of them on at the end. But today, I think it's important that I give you some very important information. The number one thing that kills people in an emergency is drinking contaminated water. Well, I'm not talking about that today. But the number two thing is eating garbage food or garbage food that is spoiled or something like that. And I just went to my refrigerator and I just pulled this out of the refrigerator. As you can see, it's getting condensation on it right now. It's cold. I keep my bread in the refrigerator. I made this loaf last Saturday, and in the refrigerator it'll last 3 or 4 weeks. Now, I'm fasting today, as I've asked everyone to do, and so I haven't eaten, well, it's Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock. I haven't eaten since Tuesday evening. And so here's what I do, is I take this little tie off, and I open this up, and this is what I wished I could have had for breakfast this morning, and this is what I will have for dinner tonight. So typically, I'll eat one slice for breakfast, and then another slice for lunch. Sometimes I put on butter. Sometimes I put on the cream stuff. Sometimes I put on Joseph Kitchen honey. Most of the time, I just put it in the toaster, and it comes out all nice and toasty and fresh, just like it just came out of the bread machine. And I'll cut it in fourths, and that's what I have. Now, I've noticed that when I have a slice morning and afternoon, I can breathe better at night. I'm losing weight. My cholesterol has gone way down. As a matter of fact, she says I now have low cholesterol. And my blood pressure has gone down. I just checked it the other day. It was like 120 over 80 or something like that. And I personally believe that this is about the best thing to eat on the planet. And I'll send you to josephkitchen.com. It was my idea to start the company. Now, my daughter owns it, runs it, but she does a very good job. So let me tell you about Joseph Kitchen. I want you to go there. If you've already got Joseph Kitchen, I want you to start making and eating the bread that you get there. So let me explain. When you go to josephkitchen.com, it's going to look like this. You want to slide in, and first thing, step number one, you want to get a machine package. That is a grinder because they send you actual wheat berries, and you put the berries in, about 4 cups, push a button, 30 seconds later you have flour. Put the flour with 5 other ingredients, which they also send you, in a bread machine, push a button, 2.5 hours later, you have nice, hot, piping whole wheat bread, and it smells so good it fills the house, and anybody in the house is going to want a piece of it, and just like I take to the church, everybody at the church loves it. It's not only good smelling, good tasting, but it's good for you. So you need a machine package, but that's everything you need to make it. Then you decide how much food you want. You want to feed one person 1 year, $700. That's just for the food. Feed one person for a year for $700, not including the machine package. Together, it's about $1,000 per person per year. And then if you want to have food for 2, food for 4, food for 6 people, $38.50. If you add that together with this, you're talking $4,000 to feed 6 people for a year. Now, why is that important? Because most of the other long-term emergency storage food places, go there, check it out. It's about $9,000 per person per year. Joseph Kitchen can show you how to do it for about $1,000 per person per year. It arrives in nitrogen-infused buckets so that rats and mice and things like that won't bother. It probably has in the ballpark of a 25 years shelf life. Again, I eat 1 slice in the morning, 1 slice for lunch. Sometimes I'll put lunch meat on top of it. Sometimes I won't. But my body says, it's like, I don't care what else you eat, but if you want to be alive, feeling good, and live a long time, you're going to eat 1 slice for breakfast, 1 slice for lunch, and then whatever else you want to eat. But you better have those. That's what my body says. 1 loaf, this loaf here, this is a little less than a loaf. This loaf here will feed about one person for 1 week, approximately. That's about $10 per loaf actual cost. And, well, I suggest you eat it now. Start making your bread now. Don't wait for an emergency. You want to go to josephskitchen.com. Now, I know it's a long promo, but I hadn't done it for a while, so I encourage you to go there. In my opinion, this is the best thing to do to have food that is good for you. It's simple and easy. It's quick to make, and you and your children will really eat it. Okay, now let's go on to what we're talking about today. So our topic is terrorists among us. Trump warns that the fight in Gaza is coming to the United States, thanks to Biden's open border. So he's warning that the fighting we're seeing in Gaza is coming to the United States, and I agree, due to Joe Biden's open border and the unprecedented number of illegal border crossers that have entered the country. After the Hamas attacks on Israel earlier this week, millions of Americans suddenly said, could this happen in America? The answer is yes, it not only could, but the prophecies say it will. Trump has a scary habit of being right about these things. He warned that Hamas terrorism is coming in after tens of thousands of Middle Eastern men, and according to Chris Reed in the dream he had, 6 million people, many of them bad guys, have already crossed over our border, already in 12 different terrorist groups, sleeper cells, waiting for the call to start blowing up our country. Trump slammed President Joe Biden's policies that have resulted in record numbers of illegal border crossings during his time in the White House, which has paved the way for potential terrorists to enter the country. During Biden's presidency, Customs and Border Protection has arrested 282 illegal immigrants that were on the terrorist watch list. Now, how many got away? We don't know. Trump's comments, come as Israel prepares a ground operation of the Gaza Strip after Hamas brutally attacked the U.S. on October 7th. Now, I believe it happened on October 6th in Israel because that's a high day. That's the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles. And when God does something by his hand, he said he will do it on a feast day. And that is a feast day. It says the fight in Gaza is coming home to the U.S. Trump wrote on Truth Social that tens of thousands of strong men from the Middle East have already invaded, I agree, our country and continue to come totally unchecked and will become a problem the likes of which we've never seen before. I agree, and he's not the only one saying it. San Diego Field Office gives this warning. It says, assesses the individuals inspired by or reacting to the current Israeli-Hamas conflict may attempt to travel, they've already traveled, they're already here, to or from the area of hostilities in the Middle East to America. Foreign fighters motivated by ideology and mercenary soldiers of fortune may attempt to obfuscate travel to or from the U.S. to or from other countries in the Middle East. And it gives these patches of the 3 guys that you should be watching for, 3 kinds. And it says possible indicators could be military-age males. Yes, that's what's been coming across our border for months now. Wearing military gear, weapons, camouflage, insignia, patches, and belligerents. That's what they've been finding. Single travelers, in other words, not moms with children. These are terrorists. Undetermined return plan, associations to Israel, the Palestinians, questions of interest, which I'll skip. But the point is, there's a lot of people saying it's about to start. FBI warns of terrorist attacks in America. FBI director warned that the war with Israel and Hamas has triggered concerns over terrorist attacks on U.S. soil. Well, duh. They should have known that when they saw the people. Of course, they did know that, and they planned that, people coming across our southern border. Iran's saber-rattling prompts concerns about how close it is to obtaining the capability to create nuclear arms if the United States is in a position to dump resources into 2 wars, given it a national deficit. No, I don't think we have the money. I don't think we have the will. And we've already sent most of our military equipment over to Ukraine, and then we left a whole bunch of it in Afghanistan we pulled out, and now they're sending a bunch of it over Israel. So And I haven't heard, I don't think you've heard, of any kind of a mass building or replenishing of those military equipment. So that means that our oil, strategic oil reserves, is pretty much empty. Our bank account in America is pretty much empty. And now our military bullets and all the things we fight with are pretty much gone. So America doesn't have too long before all of a sudden God's going to say, hit her and hit her hard. Only a matter of time before a terror attack happens in U.S. former head of CPB. With the attacks on Israel again emerging as a worldwide threat, this is the third person that's saying Hamas and other Islamic jihadists are already here in the U.S. Waiting to strike thanks to President Joe Biden's wide open border crisis. Look, it's not an accident. Stop saying President Joe Biden's stupid and the people behind him are stupid or ignorant. They're not stupid, they're ignorant, they're evil. And they are planning to take America down just like Revelation 18 and several other chapters in the Bible say. The world watched in horror on October 7th is actually October 6th in Israel, when Hamas terrorists broke through the barrier walls into Gaza and they captured, tortured, raped innocent, kidnapped children, dragged them into the holes into Gaza, and cut the heads off of children. Oh, but it couldn't happen in America, right? Well, let me give you some coverstone prophecies. I saw armed protesters fighting in the streets, people hitting one another, constant gunfire, people hiding in their homes. Who would that be? That would be Americans. With the lights out, with a gun in their hand, looking back to check on their families. Businesses shuttered, closed, schools closed. Okay, I know that this came out in 2020, but we didn't see all this in 2020. We saw a little of it, but not all of it, meaning it's still to come. No one had been in there in them for months. I saw bank buildings with roof taken off, money flying out through the roof. See, that hadn't happened yet. It's about to, but it hadn't happened yet. I saw wealth being taken away, politicians in back rooms making deals with people. Straight out of the Bible, I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars. And yes, that's exactly what God is doing. Now, if I were to do this, if I were the evil guy with control of the world and I wanted to take down America, this is what I would do. So ask yourself, is this what the enemy is going to do? You know, most of the time we underestimate our enemy. We think we're stronger, smarter, and faster, and that's not correct. If I were trying to preposition saboteurs in America, I would send ahead rifles, pistols, grenades, explosives, night vision, high-tech technology. And remember, China is the one that makes all of this high-tech technology. I would send in soldiers, call them immigrants or migrants. I would give them cell phones and papers to pass, and I would tell them to fit into society. I would tell them to memorize 3 locations to appear just in case the cell phones don't work. And when they arrive for training, I would give them orders and locations to go blow up things. I would have them blow up things like dams. Try to imagine a suitcase nuke on the Hoover Dam. Try to imagine one of those big dams blowing up, Colorado River, Lake Powell. I mean, it would kill millions of Americans, not to mention the trouble afterwards. Dams, electrical stations, refineries, food manufacture, poison water. Remember, we just had a lot of prophecies saying water's going to be poisoned. Grain storage, burn churches, schools. I would recruit Satanists, and I would put them inside the IRS, the FBI, the EPA, military positions in control. Personally, I would hire and arm 87,000 IRS agents with military training and weapons. Why? Because you got to remember, the bad guys, they do have a looking glass. They can see in the future. I believe they also do have a time machine. They can go forward and backward in time, any place on the globe, probably any place in the solar system, instantly. They know an internal revolution is coming. I personally believe that internal revolution, started by the communists, is when the bad guys took over the White House, and then the internal revolution is when the good guys go in to kick them out. And there's a lot of bad guys in America, along with the people that just came into the borders. They're going to start blowing up things like dam electrical stations and things like that. And that is where Dmitry was told the fall of America would start with an internal revolution started by the communists. Here it is. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. That's the bad guys raised in America, and also the bad guys that were imported into America and encouraged to become terrorists. Coverstone also said, I saw elected leaders in hiding, surrounded by guards. A lot of this has been said. So I'm going to encourage you, go to Joseph Kitchen. Go to Joseph Kitchen and get yourself a machine package. And if you're only one person, I don't suggest you get one person. I suggest you get enough for two people. And if you can afford it, get enough for 4 or 6, because when you're the only one in the neighborhood that has food, you know the Lord's going to speak to your heart to share it. And you're going to need to have some other food. Don't necessarily count on that food multiplying. Make sure you've got it. You should ask the Lord to show you what you need to do, what you need to have for all the trouble coming. And also I recommend you get this EMP Shield device. You can get that at empshield.com. And if you use the promo code PROPHECY, it gives you a $50 discount. So what is an EMP Shield device? It's a device you can put on your car and your house that in an EMP attack is supposed to stop the attack. And if you go to empshield.com and if you use the promo code PROPHECY, they give you a $50 discount. They also have videos up there, shows you how to install it on your car and your house and everything, and it's not difficult at all. I've got one of them right here. Red goes to red, black goes to black, green goes to the car, body of your car, and you just peel it off the back, stick it under there. Got another device that goes on your house. So not complicated. Take you about 10 minutes to put them in. So empshield.com, promo code is PROPHECY.
Introducing the Watch Prophecy Club app, now available for your Android and iOS devices. Watch Prophecy Club is your exclusive home for the last 30+ years of the best in Bible prophecy and end times information from the Prophecy Club. This app features over 100 speakers and 23 categories of Prophecy Club titles since the beginning. We are also excited to announce an integrated community feature where you can interact with other believers and Bible prophecy students. Choose either a monthly or annual subscription with a 3-day free trial. Cancel anytime.
Today, we live in unsettling times. Have you ever wondered what you're going to do when food is no longer on the shelves? I'm Leslie, owner and founder of Joseph's Kitchen, and I want to show you how to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread for only a few $100s a year. At Joseph's Kitchen, our goal is to help you live a more healthy and prepared life. Our products are ready for everyday use, but are also designed for long-term storage. Whether you are looking to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread, or want to be sure your family is prepared, Joseph's Kitchen is pre-packaged to take all the guesswork out. We personally test each harvest to make sure you are getting the highest quality ingredients.
Are you and your family prepared for what may lie ahead? At Joseph's Kitchen, we are your farm-to-table alternative. Go to josephskitchen.com to order today. And be sure to use the promo code on screen to receive your free gift. Don't get caught unprepared. Go to josephskitchen.com now.